Hi, it's Wendy at the library. I'm going to show you a quick little Valentine card craft to do. It's a little folded paper Valentine card. Has a folded message inside that you squeeze and open. And then when you open it up, it has a message that folds out. Will you be mine? On this side, I love you. It's a cute little message you can put with a little Valentine present if you'd like. Some of the papers will be pink, some will get red, maybe purple, but they all will have what you need in your kit to make these. I love you, Dad, with some Valentine balloons. So use your imagination. When you get your kit, I just want to let you know you'll get a piece of cardstock. It may be pink, purple, red, but that's a thicker than paper piece. But then there's also going to be a piece of white construction paper. It's a little thinner. And you'll also get a ruler and a glue stick. So you'll need a pencil and a pair of scissors. If you wanted to have colored pencils or markers, grab those too. There's also going to be a little printed instruction form in your kit, so you can refer to that after you've watched the video. Either way, it will come out the same. So I'm going to turn my camera down and show you how we'll get started to make this really cute Valentine. Here we go. Alrighty. So here's my cardstock. And you're going to start out by making the shape of your card that opens up that base on the back. So you'll need to take your ruler and a pencil, and you're going to mark off a 4 inch by 6 inch rectangle. And so you need to be really careful when you're measuring so that it ends up being nice squared corners. So we mark off a couple different points and then draw a line so it will make our line real straight. And I don't know if you've noticed on your ruler, there's usually a little edge there that does not have any part of the measuring there. So I always let that go over the edge of my paper where I start, and that way I don't count it by mistake. So it's off the edge a little bit. I'm going to measure 6 inches and come over here and measure 6 inches. And draw a line. Now this is going to be 6 by 4, so I might as well go right ahead, put my edge there, and come out. I can see those dots, but I'm going to come out to, this is 4 inches. So when I draw that first line from dot to dot, it goes across nice and straight. I know that at 4 inches I can stop there. So where this is my first 4-inch mark, I'm going to fix that and do another little 4-inch mark. Now I could draw this line from that one to there, and then all the way across, and it should be straight also. There we go. So that's 4 by 6. We need to divide this into 6 equal squares, which are 2 inches by 2 inches. So when I come to the edge and I come to my 4, I'm going to make a mark at 2, because it's right in the middle, and a mark at 2, and draw my line straight across. And then on this one, we're going to measure up here, make a mark at 2 inches, at 4 inches, and then 6 is right there. And then up here, mark 2 inches, 4 inches, and then my 6 is there. So I'm going to make my line across and make my line across. All right, so this is our 4 by 6 rectangle. We will not be keeping 2 of these squares. So we're going to go ahead and cut this out. Nice and straight on our lines. If it ends up being a little bit off later on, you can always trim edges if you need to, but if you're cutting straight right now and measuring straight right now, it should work pretty good. So I like to take my time when I'm cutting and make sure I'm straight. And then this one. And then this one. Remove those. And I'll even take a little bend here at the very beginning just to bend and get my shape started. It's nice to line it up. And then I'll line this one up into that crease. There we go. So this is the basic shape of our card. And like I said, see how that's a little crooked on the bottom? First of all, I'm going to make sure I folded it straight. I didn't really quite fold it straight, so I can straighten it out here. But at the end, if I did it and I didn't notice it till later, I could just trim that off. So there's my basic shape in there. We're going to now make the part that folds out. So if I open this up, we're going to cut out a piece for this accordion that folds out. And that is just a little smaller than these squares. So I'm going to measure across a strip that is 1 3/4 inches wide by 7 inches long. So I'm going to come down from my point there, and I'm going to do 1 3/4. Now, I don't know if you can see this on my ruler, but I marked it a little bit with my pencil just so I could see where 1 1/2 was and 1 3/4 were, so that I don't have to worry about it every time I go to measure. But that really helps me out a lot, that I know right where the 1 3/4 is instead of having to keep looking at it. And then this is going to be by 7 inches long. So I'll come and make this line straight across. And then this line comes straight across. Oh, I did make that first one very long, so there we go. And this is just a continuation of this first one, so I'll just make that. There we go. So now on this, we're going to be marking every 1 3/4 inches because I need these all to be square too. And line it up, not with the edge, but with that first mark. 1 3/4 inch, 1 3/4 inch, and this one should be 1 3/4 inch. There we go. And these I can pretty much eyeball that I'm making my line straight across. I'm going to cut this one out. And all the way around here. There we go. So these 4. And this is an accordion fold, so make sure it's straight and crease, and then fold it the other way. And I can see the line there, so. And then come back and fold over there. And there we go. Zigzag folding. There's my accordion. And it's 4 little squares. I'm going to go ahead and, well, I'm not going to glue that on first, but this is where we are going to glue it. Before I glue that, I want to take these 2 flaps, which are my doors, and I'm going to fold it in and then fold it back half of the distance. So it looks like it's a doorway here. Fold it over, but then fold it back. Line it up with the edge and crease it down. So this has a crease right there in the middle. I'm going to take a piece of my white paper, and I'm going to fold it over and make one of those little hearts. This is what I learned way back in school, that when you fold it and you do one side and cut it out, it comes out pretty even. I want this heart to be smaller than these doors, quite a bit smaller. So I like to line it up here and then draw my little heart. Okay, now I'm going to cut it out. There we go. Whoops, there's my little white heart. And I'm going to cut it right in half because that doorway, right up the same seam that it was folded on. Now I'm going to take my glue stick and glue this on. This one on this side, bring it right up to the middle. Make sure it's lined up straight and glue it down. And then this one. And bring it down right up to the middle. That's lined up straight and glue it down. There we go. So now that we've done that, we see where the outline of that white heart is, but if you can see from this one, my heart is cut out because when we put it together and squeeze it to put through the slot, we need it small and cut out. So we want to go along here and cut in, go along the heart and out. I like to leave a little bit of the blue paper or the colored paper that you have showing. So I'm going to cut it up and then go around. just a little edge of it. It sort of makes it look a little bit more finished. If you don't, you cut right up to the white paper. That's okay too. Can you see that edging in front? All right, then we're going to do the side. And I can see already that I did not glue my white heart down very straight. So it will be a little bit off, but not by much. Okay, here we go. There we go. Now when I bring this together, they're sticking out, but when I bring it together, they are together, and I'm going to need to make a slit for them to go through. Now, I would say put these two doors together with your heart and see where the middle is, and just draw a faint line with a pencil up through the middle. And we're going to cut a slit there, but we don't want to go to the very top or the very bottom. So kind of estimate where you should stop. And this is where I just take my scissors and I wiggle them. And wiggle, wiggle, wiggle till it finally makes a little poke through. And that's about how thick I want it. A little thicker than what my actual poke through is. And I'm going to turn and do a little snip. And then see how much I'm cutting off? See how wide that is? So I want to go all the way down to that other mark. And then about the same width down, just so that it looks neat. And I cut a slit there. So now I put my heart in. There we go. All right, it's a little bit snug at that bottom. I think I'm just going to leave it for now. I could trim it a little more. All right, I'll just do a tinge more. I just don't want to cut too close to the edge because I don't want it to rip. So sometimes just letting it bend itself is okay. I think I'm going to leave it. There we go. So now we're going to open it up and we're going to glue this accordion piece in. So we have our empty shell. We're going to put glue right on this accordion piece on the bottom. So I'll turn it over and glue. Alrighty. And now this is a little smaller than the square, so make sure that you're eyeing it and putting it pretty centered. Can you see how there's a little edge here? So it's the edge all the way around. And then this folds up. This will go on top. And this will come down and your heart opens up. There we go. And I just kind of squeeze it so it knows its shape. It's pretty good. You'll notice on this one, I put some little dash lines with a pen, sort of made it look like stitching. That makes it look, so you can do that with a pencil or a pen or marker. You don't have to do stitching. You could draw hearts in the corner. You could just leave it plain or anything you want. You are going to be designing this now any way that you'd like. And now you're also going to be designing the inside accordion. And for the accordion, you're going to take your white paper again, and now you're going to draw, and I actually have one drawn out. You're going to draw a long strip. It is going to be 1.5, now that's even a little smaller than these sizes, by 10.5 inches long. So you would go ahead and mark off your length at 10.5 and draw it, and then 1.5. They're all squares. So then you cut this apart. Now I have 7 of them. I'll cut them apart. To make them look even a little more finished, you can just trim the corners, make them a little bit of rounded corner. I'll show you the inside of the other one so you can see it. If you put them on plain white squares, you can do that like that. Or when you trim them, they're a little rounded. See how they have a little rounded. It looks a little bit more finished, I think, with the rounded, but it is your design, so you can do it how you want. But what I usually do is I take 3 or 4 of them and I hold them together, and I just trim off those corners. There we go. Whoopsie daisy, I banged my camera. Alrighty, and trim those corners. and then you just glue them in. Now you can decide what you want to write first if you'd like. You can do it after you glue them on if you're not sure what you want to do for your design. I think I really liked I love you. It's I heart you. That's pretty easy to write. There will be other ones. I have another one. Let me see what this one says. Oh, that's the heart. I heart you. Oh, it says, will you be mine? And if you'll notice, this one has 4 squares to write on, but this way only has 3 squares to write on because one is glued underneath. So that way, it might be better if you do glue these on first so that you see how they line up, or not. It's up to you. Now, what I found too was kind of fun that if I did a message with a heart and I colored it all in, it's really cute. But if you outline it in black, it really makes it pop. So I'll take my marker and I'll just outline it in black. See how it really pops right out there? Kind of looks like a cartoon. It just shows up really nice. So you can decide what you want to do for your messages inside. And then when you're all done, you fold it up and like this. And you could either just give this little card to someone. You could write their name across here, or you can tape it on top of a little present if you had it. But it's just a really fun, quick Valentine craft. So I hope you enjoyed it. Have a great Valentine's Day, everyone. Bye-bye.